Hello, how are you today? This is Jilly Bling, and I have the last and final project using Fond of Autumn bundle. And the bundle includes a polymer stamp set and the dies. And we'll also be using Pen Flowers dies, and that's just for this navy scalloped edge. This is going to be watercoloring, and I'll show you a little bit about watercoloring. Not that I'm a pro, but I can help you achieve these type results. And if you're someone who doesn't like to color and you just like to apply a little bit of color really fast, this is great for you. If you're one that has to get in every little crack of every little image, this could be for you, and you could really go crazy, because every time I look at this, it's like, oh, I need to fill in that. I need to fill in that. So whatever type of colorer you are, this is fun. So this I saw online. Patti Brunter made this design. Not quite sure what she did on the inside, but her outside was just like this. And the banner, we'll watercolor that. She did hers just in Blushing Bride. I added some soft suede to it, Blushing Bride and soft suede. I might do it with just as she did, where it's just the Blushing Bride. But isn't it beautiful how the navy leaves, which not quite sure they exist in nature, but I love the look of it, how it coordinates with the navy paper. Okay, you ready to get started? I'll keep this nearby. So this is a series of 5. This is the 5th one, and here are the others. This is a book binding card, and this one online didn't get all that many views, so maybe the green is too bright for most, but I kind of like it. So that's book binding. There's a couple of those. Then there's this one. This one was yesterday's. This is either in autumn with the flowers and the pine cone, or Christmassy with Christmas paper. Coloring with the blends. 2-step stamping. Then there's this one. Acorns. Very pretty. Then finally, this one. Aren't they nice? It's a beautiful bundle. So all of these, I'd love to send you a free card kit. Anyone in the US, if you order the bundle through me, I will send you one of each of the card kit. So we're going to use Elegant Faceted Gems. That we'll top it off with in a minute. And if ever you hear me refer to my embossing buddy as Betty Boop, you know why now. Because she lives right in here. This Betty Boop is a little bit tired. I have a couple of other fresher ones, but this perfectly fits in my little stamping caddy. And often I say, oh, where's Betty? So now you know what I'm talking about. Faceted Gems. I'll show you a little bit about watercoloring. Here are the papers. So if you're getting your kit, there's one paper that perfectly fits on the inside, and then this other paper stretches across the whole span of the front card, the front of the card, and that is 5.5, and these are the pieces for the front. So if you order, boy, I need more coffee. If you order the watercolor paper, it's called fluid watercolor paper, it comes in this size. The first time I received the paper in my order box, I thought, where's the other half of the paper? I was assuming it would be 8.5 by 11, but this is how it comes through Stampin' Up. But it's nice paper, a lot of fun to play with. Okay, so let's start by, and everything on this project uses, well, I can't say everything. The stamped images are in Versamark, put into gold embossing powder and heat set. So let's do the front of the card. See, can you see that? This piece right here. Versamark. So the strangest thing is getting ready, came out of the shower. Tony goes, okay, I'll be out in the garage. Okay. And all of a sudden, I started hearing like a band playing horns. I'm thinking, what is that? And we just, a few weeks ago, came back from New Orleans and at a Stampin' Up event, and Stampin' Up had a band come walking in and go around the room, and we were to follow them out. So I'm like, there's a band, there's horns, what's going on? And I kept hearing it, and I thought, am I hearing things? What was in that coffee? And went outside, and it was louder. I'm like, I said to Tony, he's in the garage, he's replacing his workbench. He got this one from school, and it was made out of bowling alley planks or bowling alley boards, and it's really stout. So he's pulling out his workbench and going to put that one in. So I'm like, he's in the garage, like full on garage door open, working. I'm like, do you hear horns or is it just me? Because I don't know what they're doing over there. And it's all raining too. I know there's a pavilion right there, but that's just weird. Kind of deja vu like. Not bad weird, just unexpected. Gold embossing powder. And I should have used Betty Boop. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Then on the inside, just as here, I'm going to put the stamped on the edge pieces. So, I don't know what the answer to that is, but makes for an interesting morning. Like there's horns, and it's not just one horn, it's a bunch of horns. What is today? Today is Tuesday. Playing horns on Tuesday. Yeah, they're still at it. And they sound good too. Okay, and then the words. Oh, I had to do the banner too. Autumn. Autumn wishes. I'm going to put this in the middle. Should work out just fine. So in your head, are you thinking, you have a lot of coloring to do? But if you like the coloring, it's kind of fun. I'll admit, I got started on the watercoloring last night. And Tony's like, okay, come on, time for dinner. And I'm like, but. Because once you get started and the watercolor paper is wet, the color, it flows. It's fluid. It flows really nice. So I didn't want to stop. Okay, my words are a little crooked. Just don't tell anyone. Okay, 2 things. One more thing. The banner. The banner, the banner. Did I bring banner paper? Banner paper. The banner. So you're looking at the stamp saying, that's kind of pink. So with polymer stamp sets, I think with the rubber too, it if there's any red in the ink, such as navy has red in it, it soaks into the stamp. And Versamark seems to be the best cleaner dissolver of all time. So when I stamp this and pull it off, oh, just a minute. It's a hint pink. And no matter how you clean it, it just keeps being just a hint of it. It seems like the Versamark dissolves whatever pigments remain on the stamp. So before I stamp the sentiment, well, I could try it. I was going to say let me heat set this, but I'm going to try it. So, sending many things. What's fun about polymer stamps is you could bend them. Oh no, I wanted to do the other one. That one that I just did, the sending many things, fits perfectly. This one I had to kind of maneuver a little bit to get it to fit in here. They're still out there playing. I have a ball chair. I think I need to put some more air in it. Kind of a low rider, and it's making noises. Okay, everything is ready to heat set. Yeah, I need to do something with that. That's noisy. Okay, we're done. Okay, so when you do watercoloring, do you notice how the paper kind of warps, or heat setting, the paper warps? And when you do watercoloring, it warps even more. It just happens, but I have a fix for that. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I didn't use my embossing buddy at all. I guess that explains kind of the smudges. Don't do what I do. Okay, let's just start building the card and then we'll see what dyes are there. Night of Navy. I love navy. Brushed gold. I'm going to use liquid glue because then I can change the position of it if necessary. As I listen to the lovely band across the street, them in their horn section. So today Mama and I were going out to get our nails done. Every 2 weeks we try to do that. We schedule it. Okay, does your glue ever do that? If ever your glue does the drips, to stop it, open up the lid, get the air bubble out, then it'll stop that. Stop that business. Okay, so that's done. This is for this piece right here. Do your best to get it straight on here. And this die, the scallops, if you pull it over there, you could get probably 3/4 of the scallop here and 3/4 of the scallop there. It's kind of equal then. Okay, so here's that piece. Scallops. Scallop, ooh, maybe I'm hungry. Seafood sounds good. I love scallops. So when you're putting this die on, if it doesn't fit one way, flip it over and it should fit the other way. There we go. Okay, ready to run through. Here's that. Oh, and your words, I meant to show you this. Your words, here they are. So when you get them out of the case, it seems like it would perfectly fit, but if it doesn't, which mine didn't, you're probably going to cringe when you see me do this, but it's okay. Okay, to me that's almost straight. And when you lay it on here, it doesn't fit the curve. So, how about Blushing Bride? So that, it's close to fitting. Actually, maybe it started behaving because it was on the block all night. But say that your words are not fitting at all. What you do is you put them on here, lay it over the top, and line up some of it. I'm lining up the word U, the top of the T, the bottom of the G. And I think that happy, the H, needs to go downward. So I'm going to take it and just kind of, just a little bit, kind of reposition it. And you could get it into any kind of shape you want. Maybe this could go up just a little bit so that it will perfectly fit in the banner. But with these words, the happy thoughts of you, just by the height of the font, with the G going down, the T going up, some of it will hit either side of the banner. So don't stress out. You don't have to try too hard. You could still read exactly what it says. Okay, so that's that. So this is going to go on here, drop down just a little bit. You ready to start watercoloring? Okay, TV is magic. Look at that. But don't be disappointed, I'll show you how to do it, because we have lots of coloring on the inside. So this is going to go right about here. So I'm going to put my Stamp and Seal, maybe 2 strips. And then there's the little stitched line. I'm going to line this up with just a little bit of a gap so I could see the stitch line. It kind of stands out, kind of frames it a bit. Okay, and if you don't do it just perfect, and you have a little bit of navy showing, and then a little bit of, like it all should have been shifted, it's probably cut perfectly, but I didn't position it perfect. Don't worry, at the end, or here in just a minute, I'll show you how to fix that. So now this is going to go on with Stamp and Seal. So Stamp and Seal or Stamp and Seal Plus is enough strength in the adhesive to hold the warping of the watercolor paper or any paper that you apply heat to. Many times it warps. but this stuff is really sticky. And the Stamp and Seal Plus is even stickier. But if you do liquid glue, you're going to be constantly holding it, then holding it, then holding it, and hopefully getting good attachment. But this Stamp and Seal Plus is working out pretty good. Okay, so I'm looking at the amount at the top. Just a little bit of a gap. That's probably less than 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and when I look at it over here, I need a little bit of trimming. And over here, that side looks pretty good. But just take it into your paper cutter, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to cut off maybe a 1/16 of an inch here and here. This side's looking pretty good, so just on this side, and just a little bit. So just a little bit went off, but kind of cleans up the edges of the card a bit. Okay, so how about if we do some watercoloring? Watercoloring, I'm going to color these two things so it looks similar to this. Okay, so to get started, I have my aqua painter. These are the new aqua painters, and I do have a note so you don't go crazy. When you go to open it, that's fine. When you go to open this to refill it or put water in the first time, the screw mechanism is backwards. So I kept on trying to twist it open, didn't work. I had Tony out there with a pair of pliers and a vice grip. It didn't work, and we kind of ruined one. Then, look how easy. It goes backwards. And I even called Stampin' Up! And I said, did you know that? You might want to tell your people. They're like, oh, okay, thank you. And I hope that they're telling people, because that kind of made us crazy. Made me crazy. Okay, so aqua painter, oh, to put it backwards. There it goes. Aqua painter is little bristles, water, and this is kind of a valve right here that hopefully won't let the ink go back into the water chamber. And on the side it says push. So when you push or give it a squeeze, it gets water to go through there. It kind of forces it to go through there. And that's what makes the water come out. Just naturally, there's a little bit of water. And each one of the water painters acts differently. Some of them, I don't know if it's the number of bristles or just how they're aligned, but some of them, the water just keeps coming. It's a lot of water. And other ones are on the hint of being dry unless you give them a squeeze. Both ways are good. Okay, so to do the watercoloring, see my little lineup up here? I have Blushing Bride, Cherry Cobbler, Mint Macaron, Macaroon, people say it different, Night of Navy, and Soft Suede. And you could dip your aqua painter right into there, but then you'd have a spot that's somewhat washed out. So I like to do it this way because it gives me better coverage, where I take a little block, put it into the corner of the ink into the corner, and then I use that as my palette. And I like it because I could control the ink a little bit better. And I like a little control. And sometimes the colors start looking similar on the blocks, This time not so much. These are all quite a bit different. So I like to put them in alphabetical order. If you have drops of ink on a block or a sheet of acetate, they all look the same. So hence, alphabetical works good. Okay, so doing watercoloring, and keep in mind, I'm not a watercolor artist. I just do to get the results that I want, and I know that there's all kinds of tips. But the things that I have found, I'll share with you. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a squeeze. So I call that a watercolor wash. When you put the ink on top, see how the ink just kind of flows? That's great. Or if you pick up some ink, go directly on there, that could be great too. And it gets lighter and lighter and lighter as you go. So what kind of look are you looking for? And sometimes just practice on your scratch paper. Oh, another thing, the navy, it leaves a little pink cloud hue along the outside edge. And that's just what it does. Okay, so since I have navy on here, I'm going to start with the leaves. And you can always clean your brush out, give it a squeeze, get water running through the bristles, and clean it out. I'm going to do a watercolor wash on these leaves right here. Just a hint of water to make it flow a little bit. Then I'm going to put the color down here at the base. And I'm purposely trying to leave the tip white just because that's the way the artist Patti did hers, and I really like that look. Oop, that one doesn't look like it has much watercolor wash on it. But another fun thing about watercoloring is you could do layers of color. So you could see how it's getting a little bit lighter. I think my watercolor wash is gone from my leaves. And then you can always go back and kind of reactivate the color. Just a little bit, not completely. So when I'm looking at these, that's just solid light, and that's all that's to it. So I'm going to put a little bit of dark down here. And you could go back at the end when it's all dry, and you could get that effect where you put some serious shadows in it. Okay, so I'll just leave it like that. So now that I have color in here, I'm going to look for the next leaves. Do I want to do the watercolor wash? I have a feeling it's going to be too dark. So if I did the watercolor wash at this point, ooh, that would be good. Okay. So on these leaves, I'm fine if my wash is a hint light blue. That's okay. If I be real quiet, maybe you can hear the band or whatever, the horn, the instrumental. Can you hear that? They sound pretty good too. Okay, they quit now. Oh, they're back. Maybe someone was taking a breath. Okay. And I don't know how dark this is. Yeah, it's a little bit dark. Sometimes with the blue one, it starts getting lighter. It gets to be kind of purpley. I really don't want that, but if it happens, that's okay. So what's nice about doing it on the blocks is you can control how much color you get on your brush too. Like I'm going into this area that's a little bit washed out already. So it's, oh, I need more than that. It's funny, when you're watercoloring, I always go back and look at it at the end. It's like, there's like a glaring white spot. How did I miss that? Every time. Okay, I'm not liking how that's looking. That's too strong against the wash. So, give it a squeeze. I'm going to go back and kind of reactivate them to make it a little bit more of a smooth graduation of color to the end. But like I was saying, you can be like crazy getting all your little leaves exactly the same, or not. I think it would look good any way you did it. Okay, a few more leaves over here. I'm not sure what those things are. So when you do the heat embossing, you have to make sure to get it fully heated. Otherwise, the color is just going to flow out into the background. This kind of traps the color in. So this right here, how it goes from dark to nothing, I don't know about that. So I'm going to try to pick up a little bit of this color, pull it out to the ends. So you could just keep going and working at it. It's like now that this is dry, I could add another layer of color way at the bottom to make it really dark. It's never ending. But I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, so I was talking about how spots are left. I know I colored that. Look at those spots. How's that happen? Every time. Okay, good with that. So to rinse out your brush, give it a squeeze, let the water flow through the tips, and it should be clean. So let's do these leaves, these oak leaves, and I'm purposely going to do just the center of them. And I say that now, but sometimes I overdo things. Okay. And I see a spot on here that I didn't heat set all the way. Okay, just doing the center. Can I really leave it at that? I might go back after it's dry and make a few spots darker. Also, what's kind of fun is with the blends, how there's a color lifter. I'm getting all the color out of here. Right here I could see that I went out of the lines while it's still a little bit wet. I keep coloring it. Ha! I fixed it. Ha! Okay, one more leaf. Give it a squeeze. Watercolor wash into the mint. See, I'm being artsy. Yeah. Oh, and I went out of the line again. Oh no, that's okay. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, here's leaves. Those are blue leaves. Okay, while the green is drying, blue leaves. They were hiding. You probably knew it. You're like, are you going to go back and get those leaves? Okay, and then make it a little bit darker down here. Ooh, that looks good. And it always dries a hint lighter than what you see at first. Okay, now on to the acorns. So the acorns are interesting because I should remember her name, Patti. Patti did the acorns all in watercolor wash first. all in Blushing Bride. I'm like, pink acorns? But when I looked at them in real life, they kind of do have a pink hue. So I'm going to do all Blushing Bride. Let that dry. Do this one. Oh, there's just the top of this one over here. Okay, and then come back with the suede and do just a few little shadows. And then like the little shadows on the acorn cap. And you know what? I probably should have waited until it was all the way dry, because that just all blended together. This one is behaving a little bit better. See that little acorn right there? Oh, and I want to do the stems in soft suede. Oh, here's an acorn. Okay, so the acorn, the nut part is going to be Blushing Bride. I'm going to give it the wash first. Blushing Bride. And then soft suede for the shadow. Okay. And flowers and berries. Let's do, because I have Blushing Bride on here, let's do the flowers. So to do the flowers, watercolor wash on the petals. I'll do just one flower at a time. Watercolor wash, water wash, and then from the center, just a little bit of the Blushing Bride, and that's it. Then I'm going to do the center, and I'm going to put the shadows of cherry in there. See how this one, the center has the cherry? Okay. Squeeze, wash. Oh, there's still ink on here. Okay, this one will just be a little darker. Blushing Bride. Now you can see how when Tony's like, okay, have dinner ready, which is great. It's like, get up and leave it right now. I was like, I'm on a roll. Okay, get some of the color out and do the center. And then water wash. And right from the center of the petal, each petal. I wonder if across the street, because those horns are still playing, I wonder if it's like from the high school, come on kids, let's go out to the park and play in the park today. Music director Birch is very creative and good like that. And over here, I'll pretend like this is a flower. I don't know what it is. It's a flower now. Oop, I got some blue. Oop. And a little bit on the inside. Okay, so the inside of the flowers is going to be, start with this one. Get the color out of there first. Wash, and then into cherry cobbler. And the center dark. Oop, got a little dark. So can you tell from all my whoopses that it's still just, it looks good? So don't be too hard on yourself and give it a try. And I say have a little practice piece so you kind of know what to expect. And then, like right now I'm looking at the flowers, it's like the blushing bride doesn't look all that pretty. Don't be too hard on yourself. Or going back over it, hoping to take a little bit of that crisp edge and soften it and make the edges of the petals a little pinker. Now I like it. Dude, that one was really strong border edge. Okay, now time for the berries. I love the berries. Watercolor wash the whole thing. Cherry. Well, that turned out okay, but I want it more red. I'll probably go back and make that a little bit more on the pink tone. Okay, a little squeeze. Hopefully that's not too dark. Oh, it's lightening up. No one thing is alike on this project, that's for sure. Oh, we still have to do the banner too. The banner is easy. It's fun. Okay, now cherry to put the shadow on them. Because it's still wet from the wash of color, just kind of, it's like the pigments are heavy and they stay right where you, kind of right where you put them. Oh, more berries. Might have too much color on this, but we'll see. Giving a little squeeze, not too much, I don't want to drip. I should go to the local community college and take some art classes. I would wow you then. I would know what I'm doing. I'd probably have some really good tips too. Oh, but then I couldn't be in my room every day, all day. Okay, what do you think? I think I said I was going to do one other thing, but I don't remember what it is, so. Oh, the banner. Okay, so I'm going to get the cherry cobbler out of here, give it a squeeze to get water flowing through those bristles. Okay, and watercolor paper is just like extra thirsty paper. You could do all this on Whisper White or Basic White or Vanilla. And it acts just a little bit different. Oh, I know what the other thing is. I have to heat set one little bit on the card inside. Okay, so water wash. This one I'm going to do in Blushing Bride. Kind of running low on Blushing Bride. I'm going to do it just at the ends. Okay, maybe a little bit darker at the tips, and then I'll just leave it like that. Okay. I think that's it, other than assembling and attaching gems. So all these, I'll just put them in my chamois, get them clean. This is garbage. That was just for practice. Use your scraps for practice. Oh, I could go in with the navy and make, no, I like my leaves. Isn't that pretty? So I hope you stuck with me through the watercoloring. And I hope you give it a try. Okay, let's see. This is going to go under here. That's going to go on the front. Right about here. Do you like the Blushing Bride, or do you like it better with the suede in it? Yours is different. Okay, so dimensionals. There's no ribbons on this thing. Oh, I think big ones. Big ones. Magic Dimensionals. Rock My World. Okay, right there, I didn't use my Betty Boop, so this is going to go right about there. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's decorate the front with elegant faceted gems. So they come in clear. I think this is petal pink and then kind of a frosty white. I'm doing frosty white. The petal pink would go, but I think it might make it a little confusing with all of the pinks in it. The white, I'm hoping it will kind of calm it down. And I think I used way too many on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, you could bling everything. 5, 6. One more. 7. Okay, time to put the inside in and stamp and seal. That will hold down the watercolor paper from watercoloring and the heat embossing, because it sure gets warped. Isn't that pretty? You would think I came up with it all on my own. What would we do without the internet? All of those ideas out there for one stamp set. It's a lovely thing. Autumn wishes. Okay, so that's it for today and for Fond of Autumn 5 projects. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Bye.